Okay, here's another shot at this video. I told you I'd do a video on solar power. This is just a small solar setup, but I can grow it pretty rapidly. I figured I'd show it to you. Here's the panel. It's a 55 watt BP panel, but I can add it. I've just got it on a small frame. There are charts on the internet that show what degree you should have them at for the sun, the best degrees. But you can find that on the internet. Basically, it's a 12 volt system. You can grow your systems by wiring the panels in series or parallel based on your needs. I've got it out here at my barn, but like I say, it's just a small emergency system. One day I might mount it on the barn up there or down to the house, but I would like to get one in the house, but that costs some bucks to get it installed, or to get all the components. The installation's pretty easy. It's not too bad. Anyway, the power comes in. Solar energy gets collected there, sends power through that cable that's on the ground there. Comes in here to the garage. You can see into the barn. I mean, the cable comes up, goes into this box here. That is my solar combiner. It's basically an AC electrical panel bought for like 20 bucks at Home Depot. I've wired it inside for a DC panel. I'll take off the cover and show you about that here in a minute. Basically, after it gets combined, this is where you would combine all of your panels, however many panels you want to have. So you can see I've built this so that I can grow the system. Your panels get combined there. The power comes out, your positive and negative, into your charge controller. The charge controller just conditions the power that it gets sent to the battery for charging, and then also it runs some, this is a little more advanced model, it runs some cycles on the battery and keeps the maintenance good on the battery, kind of maintains it for you, if you will. Also shuts off power once the battery's full. So you can see that the cables coming out of it come down here and they go down into the battery. This is just a deep cycle, basically marine battery. There are gel cell batteries. You can get big golf cart batteries. I believe those are 6 volt, and wire them up so that they're 12 volt if you're doing a 12 volt system. One thing to keep in mind is with the charge controller, I spent a little bit more on this charge controller. I think it was 150 bucks, something like that, and it'll handle 60 amp. So I can run a pretty big system off of it. But basically it can do 12, 24, or 48 volts based on the system you want to build. 12 volts the cheapest. You don't have to get into any exotic inverters or anything like that. But anyway, coming back off the battery here, you'll see the second set of cables, the real large cables. They come up here to my inverter. This is a cheap inverter. I found it at Costco for 40 bucks, which is a sweet deal for a 1,000 watt inverter. And it has a 2,000 watt startup or surge for like starting motors and stuff like that. So it's actually 2,000 watt, but 1,000 continuous. And basically, on the end here, I've got my the inverter is what converts your 12 volt DC to AC power. You can see if I turn it on here, I've got 2 110 outlets. I've got a light plugged in here right now, but you can see it in fact does work. It's not that sunny of a day outside. If you look out there, you see it's pretty hazy and gloomy. But anyway, basically that's my system for emergency use, but I could grow it pretty quickly if I needed to. I could add batteries, just bank them, start banking batteries here. I can add panels because of the combiner here. and then at that point I could start adding some more inverters, or you can get some real expensive inverters. This is a Xantrex, but it's a real low-end Xantrex. Some of your nicest inverters are going to be your higher-end Xantrex, and your Outback are probably what I would consider top of the line. And so this would be like an off-grid system running off batteries. If you're going to get an inverter and try to connect to the grid, that's another option. They have charge controllers and inverters that pump it. I think it's mostly inverters that pump it back right directly into the grid. Not really into that because I'd like to get off grid, be a little more self-reliant. But anyway, I'll pull the panel off the front of this panel here and show you how I wired it. That's about it. Okay, here's the panel, my combiner, low-cost combiner here that I made. Basically a $20 AC panel, even came with one breaker. I bought a second breaker but have nothing wired to it. You can see here my positive and negative come in from these are coming from the solar panel. The positive comes up here to the 15 amp breaker, and you can see that the negative here comes up and goes into this negative bus up here that I'm using. Basically, that you can see then I come off of the positive bus here up to the charge controller, and I come off the negative bus here up to the charge controller. So basically, all you have to do, the one thing you have to do is, because this is a 220 panel, you have to combine the two buses. There's two different buses here. To combine them, I just cut a long piece of cable here. You can see that it runs from here all the way over to here, and that just combines the two buses together. So that's my positive bus, is where the breakers are. My negative bus is up here, and you can see I have also grounding there that goes out to a grounding rod, because you should ground your whole system for electrical, in case it gets hit by lightning, stuff like that. I could have run conduit, been a little done a little nicer. For now though, this seems to suit my needs. I do want to grow it, like I said, add some more batteries, some more panels, and get a nice inverter one day. But this is what I've got for now. But it gives me a start and the ability to add on later. So that's it. That's my small emergency solar system here. If you have any comments or questions, please leave